2025 Harley Davidson Cruisers, a bold return to the brand's roots. At the unveiling of Harley Davidson's 2025 cruiser lineup, Brad Richards, HD's creative director and VP of design, made one thing clear. Cruisers are deeply embedded in the brand's identity. While that may seem obvious to anyone familiar with Harley's storied past, it's an important point to reiterate in a time when the spotlight has shifted to touring bikes, the King of the Baggers race series, and the Panamerica Adventure models. Amid all that excitement, the Softail-based cruisers have been quietly cruising along with only minor updates since the 2018 transition to the monoshock frame. That all changes in 2025. This year's cruiser lineup doesn't just get a makeover, it gets a full performance and tech overhaul. At the heart of the update is a new Milwaukee 8 1017 V-twin engine, available in 3 distinct tunes, newly integrated IMU-based electronic rider aids, and revised suspension components. The 6-bike lineup kicks off with the entry-level Street Bob, equipped with the smoother-running Milwaukee 8 117 Classic, and tops out with the power-packed Lowrider and its fairing-equipped ST sibling, both running the high-output 117. HO. To put these upgrades to the test, we took the full range for a ride through Texas Hill Country, Milwaukee 8 117, updated power, Familiar Soul, the new Milwaukee 8 117 powering the 2025 cruisers, is an evolution of the engine used in the 2023, 2024 CVO and Grand American Touring models. It's been re-engineered with new 4-valve cylinder heads, a reshaped combustion chamber, and oval intake ports paired with an improved intake manifold. Like its touring counterpart, it uses a frame-mounted oil cooler to manage heat via passages through the cylinder heads. However, the cruiser version is lighter, Air Pro oil-cooled, and features a slightly different architecture. Plus, it skips the hassle of coolant maintenance entirely. Harley has tailored the engine's performance across the lineup, offering 3 versions to match each bike's intended character. Milwaukee 8 117 Classic, 98 HP, smooth and approachable. 117 Custom, 104 HP, balanced and versatile. 117 High Output, 114 HP, bold and performance-driven rider aids and ride. Modes: high-tech meets heritage. With models like the Sportster S already pushing into modern tech territory, Harley's cruisers were ready for their turn. For 2025, every Softail-based cruiser comes equipped with a 6-axis IMU, unlocking a full suite of electronic rider aids. Under Harley's Rider Safety Enhancements, RSE banner, the system includes cornering ABS, cornering traction control, drag torque slip control, and tire pressure monitoring. Cruise control now also comes standard across the range. The addition of ride modes is another first for the Softail lineup, letting riders adjust the bike's personality on the fly. Road mode offers steady, predictable power and a smooth torque. Curve. Rain mode reduces torque and softens throttle response to keep things calm and composed on slick roads. Sport mode unleashes the engine's full potential with sharp throttle response, maximum power delivery, and strong engine braking.
Or slick conditions. Sport mode dials everything up, giving you the most aggressive throttle response, maximum torque, and the strongest engine braking on decibel. Suspension got a touch up too. Both the front and rear now feature straight rate springs, replacing the older progressive rate ones, offering more consistent performance. Harley also rebalanced the forks and shocks for a more composed ride. One change worth noting: adjusting the rear preload now requires removing the seat, as the external adjustment knob is no longer included for 2025. Instrumentation for the 2025 bikes underwent a subtle upgrade, with a round analog speedometer gauge with an inset LCD now standard on the cruisers. Info is accessed via the trip button on the left side, and a new ride mode button is housed on the right. The Lowrider ST, Lowrider S, and Street Bobs get a 4-inch diameter dial, while the Heritage Classic has a 5-inch diameter console-mounted gauge. New switch housings also grace the cockpit this year. All bikes now feature LED lighting everywhere, and a new USB-C port replaces the old USB-A unit. At this point, you're probably asking about styling updates, long a point of emphasis and pride for the motor company, But it looks like the cosmetics took a backseat to performance upgrades this year, with classic V-twin design, cues holding steady, and just a few minor changes to the finishes, badging, and paint options across all models. 2025 Harley Davidson Street Bob. With 6 different models and less than 2 days to ride them, we put our focus on the 2 models packing the most disparate variants of the M8 engine. The Lowrider S, with the high-output 117 engine, has the most power and torque in the bunch, while the Street Bob packs a 117 in classic tune. Stripped down and tipping the scales at 646 pounds, the lightweight Street Bob leverages its new Milwaukee 8 117 engine quite effectively, even with the relatively less forceful classic tune. We've always liked the Bob's minimal feel, which manages to channel a vintage aesthetic without trying too hard, and the raw bobber look definitely gives off a nice dose of attitude. The solo seat, standard mini apes, and chopped rear fender impart even more streetwise sensibility, with new styling cues this year, including a diamond tank medallion, a brighter exhaust, air cleaner, rocker boxes and engine covers, and black details on fender struts, wheel rims, handlebar, and headlamp bucket. There are also virtually no changes to the dimensions and riding position, though this year's Bob is 9 pounds lighter than the 2024 model, and the exhaust is now a 2-into-1 unit, ditching the old dual stagger configuration. Although the least expensive Softail purports to fit shorter riders better, the mid-controls and taller mini-apes paradoxically give you a rider triangle that's compact on the bottom and more rangy up top. A mixed bag for those of us with stubby limbs, and also not ideal for long-legged types. After 30 minutes in the sit-up-in-bed position, our hip flexors were filing loud complaints. HD was proud of the fact that it did not raise seat heights on any of the new bikes 1 iota, though we have to believe an extra ½ inch of cush on the saddle, which surely have made our day more comfortable. Ergonomic gripes aside, we quickly remembered just what it was that we liked about the old Street Bob once we pulled away from the stoplight. This bike just loves to be whipped from side to side, and the excellent balance, great leverage at the bars, and easy handling all conspire to make it wicked fun on a back road. The Bob steers easily and goes wherever you point it without complaint. Input at the bars requires little effort, and turn-ins are a stress-free affair, and chassis stability remains steadfast. The Showa dual bending valve internals also do a decent job of staying composed in the rough stuff, and the new straight-rate springs handle fork dive much better, though the rear suspension, at 3.4 inches of travel, wasn't nearly as compliant in harder-edged hits. The Bob's agility has found a new friend in the M8 117 engine's crisper throttle response, with torque that comes on quickly and stays stout throughout. Harley says the 117 Classic variant delivers a claimed 98 horsepower at 4,600 RPM, with a grunt peak of 120 pound-ft, at 2,500 RPM, or 4% more power than the 114 engine it replaces. All that torque low down makes it easy to power out of almost any scenario. In mellow road mode, the 4 horsepower increase over the 2024 engine is almost negligible. For the most grins,